Hey guys, this is Will, and welcome to the Nightmare Narrative Podcast. Tonight I have two very special guests. The man to my left is Nathan. He is from Rotting Llama Productions. Say hi, Nathan. Love the mug.
Hello, how are you all doing?
And fresh face. This is Luke. He is from Castle Central. Say hi, Luke.
Hello, hello. How is everybody?
Now, Luke, tell us a little bit about your channel for some of the guys that don't know you.
So, for those that don't know, I do a mixture of stuff. Like I've got I do horror videos, I do vlogs, and there's a new project that I'm going to be starting soon. But I really mainly concentrate on like vlogging and like short horror, like breakdowns in a way.
And everyone, please give him a congratulations for the new baby.
New baby on the way.
Yeah, Luke has a baby on the way. And but check him out. He does a lot of vlogs. I checked out the one that you did, dude. Great job with the filming, by the way. I love the transitions. I think I commented that's how my car looks. When you walked outside, you put the camera on the ground to film yourself going up to the car, and then like doing all those little things. Like that was top notch A1.
I didn't even plan it all out. It's just like, well, what can I do here? I'll give this a go. A lot of it's like hit or miss, and I was like, I'll try
Yeah.
this, and then I'll just roll with it. Really, I don't really plan out. I'll just wing it.
Well, I think it's brilliant. That's
Thank
stuff
you.
that I don't think of.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
well, thank
really
you.
professional, and for people that are just starting YouTube or anyone that wants to do any type of videos, I follow Think Media a lot, and one of their biggest things just press play. And so someone that wants to go out and film, try new things, try different things, but just play with it and figure out what works for you. Like my videos have changed so much from 2 years ago, and so it's pretty neat to see because I you started your channel not too long ago. It's pretty neat seeing like how you've kind of developed your niche, playing video games, doing vlogs, doing creepy stories, doing stuff about scary topics. I think that's pretty neat.
It's just basically whatever I feel like doing.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. It should never feel like a job. It should feel like
Uh,
I wake up today, I want to do this video.
yeah,
That's awesome. So guys, please go check out his channel. I'm gonna link that down in the description below, as well as Rotting Llama Productions. But guys, I have both of you here because you are both part of the Spooky Boys Club. So what is the Spooky Boys Club?
Go on, Luke.
basically, the Spooky Boys Club is it's me and Nathan, obviously, and we will find or do certain things to do with like Bloody Mary and the Sandman story. No, like urban legends. That's the word.
Mm,
And it's like a debunk thing in a way. Like we'll try them out, see what happens, and I
Yeah,
don't really know how else to explain it. That's pretty much what the Spooky Boys Club is as well.
yeah,
So
yeah. In a nutshell, it starts off like like Luke said, we want to debunk certain myths and urban legends. So we'll try them out, and we'll see what happens. And then we're just kind of like evolving into anything that falls into that sort of spooky realm. Like in my cellar, we tested some ghost apps to
yeah.
see if they worked. So that's not quite an urban legend or a myth, but it's something we can try out and debunk. And yeah, it was a good video that one. I enjoyed that.
yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, I liked it because you guys did that one. I hadn't done that one yet of testing all the different apps. Of course, with our investigation team, we've tried a couple of different apps. One of them, I can't remember which one it was, but we've used it before to no effect. It's the one where like the stick figure kind of sits in the chair and stuff, and
Yeah,
it just looks like they're jacking off. Like it's not even doing anything. It's just like random things just flailing. Yeah, I don't put any stake in those. I mean, at the end of your video, without spoilers, because I do want you guys to go check out the video. What was your conclusion to those apps?
well, we got a good sort of dynamic going on where Luke's like a big believer,
I
and I'm more a
believe.
skeptic. So like I was
Non-believer.
expecting nothing to happen,
Yeah.
whereas Luke on the other side has more of that kind of like belief that something could happen.
So
You
it's
never know.
it's sort of like BuzzFeed Unsolved type dynamic.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but with much better looking people.
Exactly. better looking and better accents too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
The
and
good
like,
thing with the Spooky Boys Club is that even though it's so far it's just me and Luke, like we have this good idea to try and make it global, if that makes sense. So like
mm,
people in different like countries or areas can like join the Spooky Boys Club, um, and we can all like collaborate somehow and stuff. So I think it'd be a good idea if you join the Spooky Boys Club as well.
I'd love
Oh
to.
yeah.
How do I join?
So,
Well, there's an
well,
initiation, right?
yeah,
It
yeah,
involves a cactus, a bottle of water, and a dark room. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Hey, thank you for the water at least.
yeah.
It's not for
If
what you think it
you
is.
Oh no.
if you send me your details after this, then we'll get you a Spooky Boys Club T-shirt sent out to you,
Yes.
so you can have
I- If you
you know
if
you
you
can
s- if you send that to me the first time I get it, I will wear that on the next podcast.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, yeah, if you send me the details and it's completely knows, and we'll sort you out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, we did have a couple of topics tonight that we want to go ahead and get to since I have these fine gentlemen here. The main one that I'm really excited to go ahead and just jump right into. Nathan, if you want to go ahead and take it away. This is something that you're planning on doing a video on.
Oh, is this the death theory?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is something that, I mean, it's strange to admit this, but something that I think about all the time. Um, and it's what happens after you die and like the different theories and, the thoughts and ideologies behind it. So, I mean, lots of people, even in different religions, have different ideas, like I think it's Hinduism where you sort of reborn and stuff. And I like that idea of the fact that you can be reborn, but then I've got this weird theory, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll do my best for you.
Okay.
So let's say um, you know, I was born in 1990, and let's say I live until I'm 85 or something. When I die, um, essentially, like I'm reborn, but as myself again. So like time kind of like rewinds, and it's one big loop. But you live your life throughout again, but you don't understand. But you don't remember that past life.
Yeah.
But then I've also thought of something really weird that people have deja vu and things like that. What if that's like a distant memory from a past life?
Oh, I like
Who
that.
knows?
I like it.
I also like the idea that, um, and I might do like a mini documentary type of thing of what happens after you die, but then I thought this would make a really good short horror film as well.
Ooh.
So, and I was thinking about calling it like Life is an Illusion or something along them lines. And what happens is it's like a scene of someone um, like living their life and then they get murdered or something. And it's graphic because obviously it's got to be graphic for a horror thing.
Of
Um,
course.
but then like the second like they die, it cuts to like them in like a games arcade place, and they take off like this headset, and the games arcade says like life in 5 minutes. So this game lets you experience an entire life in 5 minutes. So like, what if we're doing that right now? Like, I could die at any point, or when I'm old, and when I die, that's the end of the game, and I'm living this other person's life, but I've got all these experiences and memories. I sound absolutely insane thinking about that and saying it out
No.
loud, but I think it's
Yeah.
really interesting.
I can see it. What do you think about that, Luke? What's your opinions on it?
I have mixed opinions. I'll
He
basically
says he says your theory's trash.
Ah, you little gimp.
you trashing my like I have a few theories, or
Okay.
I think it's a few theories. Like this subject is not something I really like to think about a lot because I'm it's the first time I've ever said this, but I am petrified of death. I am absolutely petrified of death. Don't know why. Well, obviously I know why. But my theory is there's something after death, obviously, and obviously it's for all from the paranormal stuff that I've experienced and stuff. That there must be something after death, whether it's that where it's like right. As an example, like if you're in a building and you spend most of your life in that building, like you don't live on after you die, but the memory of you lives on in the walls, and that gets repeated and everything. So you're like a memory, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's what gets into like residual hauntings and
Like,
and yeah.
That's my kind of theory. But then I also have another theory that it's, well, because I was christened when I was obviously when I was younger, like, and I've always had that notion in my head that like when we die we must go. So I don't believe in heaven or all like that, but I believe we're like, the other theory is like we move on to like another plane, like another life, and go on, and then it keeps. It's kind of links into what Nathan's is like. You know, like when you like it loops again, and then you start over again. You just keep
Like
on
an
going.
alternate universe kind of thing.
Similar,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, something a bit scary as well is my wife, when she was 11, she had some teeth taken out at the hospital because obviously, like, she didn't brush her teeth. So she had some teeth taken out, and she didn't know that she had a blood condition called haemophilia, which is basically where you know, if you cut yourself, you just bleed and you don't stop. So
Yeah.
she bled to death when she was 11, and she was like essentially like verified dead, but then they got her back, and all she remembers is just blackness and nothing, which I think is really weird. But like perhaps like her heart maybe stopped, I reckon, but maybe her brain was still going for like the extra 5 minutes, and that's why she didn't see anything. I don't know. All I know is that she said nothing happens and she died, which debunks my entire theory.
Yeah,
What about
it's
you?
just
What
a
do you
game,
think?
just a game over screen forever. And well, to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Nathan, I think that yeah, you have those deja vu moments, but you also that when you're doing something and you have that funny feeling in your gut and you're like, oh, maybe I should or shouldn't do this. That's your past self being like, oh, I learned from this mistake. I'm gonna do it this way now, and that's
Yeah.
what that funny feeling is in your stomach.
I've also read weird sort of theories like people who have birthmarks. Do you guys have a birthmark by any chance or not?
I don't have a birthmark.
Nah.
No. So a birthmark is like a wound, what killed you, and that's why it's come back on yourself. So you see people with like birthmarks on their face or their bodies and stuff, and that's like something like if you got shot or you fell or something
Yeah.
stabbed you, like that's the mark that led on to your life. And I've also seen this really weird news article of this little boy in Scotland. He was about 4 or 5 or something, and he kept telling his mum that he wasn't who he was, and he kept talking about this like old man, and he gave the old man's name and his address and his date of birth and how he died, and then his mum didn't really believe what he was on about, but he begged his mum to take him to a graveyard like where they'd never been before, and the kid took her to that gravestone where the man he was talking about, because he was saying that he is that old man but just reborn into that little boy, which I thought was pretty creepy.
Yeah. To add, I
Pretty
think
cool.
I know which one you're talking about. That's the one where this little Scottish boy he thought that, or every time they would drive down the road, he would look at an airplane and he could name that airplane.
Yeah.
He could like do that kind of stuff, and he talked intricately about like this is what an airplane can do. They went to a museum or something, and he knew exactly how to fly a plane. This like 5-year-old, and he said that he's flown planes for years, and it's like how like you're 5. I think that's the same kid.
Yeah, yeah, it must be. Yeah,
That's
I think that kind of stuff's so interesting because it's like you
It's
can't
really
really
interesting.
explain it, and it's just so weird. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, because one of the options when you die is, reincarnation. Is reincarnation real? What are some of the uh, evidence for that? And some of the evidence is, like you said, it could be the birthmarks. It could be this is how you died in your past life. Deja vu, when you feel like you're witnessing something again, or that pit in your stomach of maybe I should or shouldn't do this. That's your past self telling you what to do now.
Yeah,
It's definitely pretty interesting. Like there are some examples that kind of back that up, and then of course you have whole religions that completely believe in that. It's pretty interesting.
yeah.
Now, a few other options, because you asked what I believe. So when you die, what happens? I so like Luke, I was raised Christian, and so I believe in heaven and hell. And after doing a lot of investigations that I've done, I do believe that there is a hell. And if you believe there's a hell, you usually have to believe that there's a heaven as well. There's always a bad and a good. So I believe that when you die, you go to heaven or hell. However, I think that when you die, your energy, your emotion, your essence, what uh, not Isaac Newton, it might have been Isaac Newton or Tesla said that we're all vibrations, we're all energy, and so when you die, that gets left behind. And so I believe that your soul moves on, but your essence of what you were still remains. And that's how you're able to have these residual hauntings. It's just your electrons and your protons just kind of just going about doing what they used to do back in that time. That's how you can kind of explain, going upstairs and you see this ghost walking down the hallway at this time of night every night, because that's what they used to do. They would get up and get out of bed, go to the bathroom or whatever, and they just follow the same path. So I think that you could have residual hauntings like that, or if you had something like unfinished business, when you pass on, your energy now has a purpose, it has a reason. And so even though your soul is up in heaven, hell, or wherever, you are now able to do the things that you needed to complete, whether that's checking in on a loved one to make sure that they're okay, pointing someone to your body or who killed you, that kind of thing. And you're trying to complete that purpose. So when that purpose is complete, like a ghost investigator coming in and trying to relay that message, trying to ask what it is that your purpose is and help them fulfill that purpose, that's their energy then moving on. And then that's when you cease to exist on this earth. What do you guys think?
That sounds confusing, but it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we know nothing. We know
Exactly,
nothing.
yeah.
Every all of this is theory. Ghost hunting.
It's all it's the unknown, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
No one knows the unknown.
Ghost hunting is all theory. Like, if anyone ever tells you, like, hey, this is what ghosts do, call bullshit. They don't know what they're talking about. No one knows what they're talking about. We don't know until we die.
I saw this video and theory, and it kind of goes on about what you said, but I think it was called quantum entanglement or something along them lines.
You're speaking my language.
Well, basically, some scientists killed a fish or something, and there was machine what detects energy and waves and atoms and stuff. And when it killed it, before they killed it, this thing was still, but when it killed it, it started to wave and wobble, all its atoms and energy sort of left it. If that makes any sense, and I think that kind of goes on what you're saying, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, well, to take that a step further, so quantum entanglement is where you have a positive and a negative. You always have a positive and a negative. So if you do something to the positive, the negative reacts to it. And so theoretically, you can be here on Earth and then you could be somewhere on Mars or whatever. You can write a message on that proton, and then the other proton will immediately receive that message. So it travels faster than light. So the same concept, like your soul, your positive goes off to heaven, hell, whatever, but your negative stays behind. And so that negative is now going about the earth doing its thing, and that's where you get the hauntings from.
Yeah. As you were talking, I was just looking at Luke, and he just looks so confused.
I'm not confused. It's like I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm listening. I'm going, wow.
It's taken me a few years to even get to grasp with the basics of it. It's so confusing, but once you kind of research it, it's really interesting.
So guys, do you have any ghost experiences? I don't think we talked about this the last time you were on, Nathan. I can't remember.
I've not had any experiences that I would call a ghost experience. I've had some weird experiences. I may have talked about this before on your podcast where I was like a small child, 5 or 6, and the bedroom door was open a crack, and the light outside was off, and I swear I saw an eyeball at the door looking at me for ages.
Yeah.
And yeah, that petrified me. And there's another one. It wasn't me, but it was my sister. I wasn't born yet. So my mum was giving my sister a bath when she was a young child. And my dad had gone out to work an hour ago or something. And from where the bathroom was positioned, you could see the hallway and the top of the stairs. And my mum was backward to that. And my sister like stared, and she's like, "Oh, Daddy's back." My mum's like, "What? He left an hour ago." Um, and then like she searched her house, and he wasn't there. He was actually at work. So I don't know if I mean I'm not really a believer, but I don't know if ghosts have this thing where they can sort of mimic people. I don't know, but
Hum
that's
to chime in, again, like I said, I don't know everything, but a theory is that human ghosts are not able to mimic another person. They're only able to do what they were able to do while they were living. So anything that mimics is something else,
demon.
whether it's a demon or some type of negative energy. But nine times, but I can almost guarantee that whatever is mimicking is not something that was a person.
No,
Yeah.
it's usually from what I've like researched and stuff like this. It's usually something a bit demonic because demons are known to lie, the natural deceivers. That's why they'll mimic. They'll take forms like people, children, just to gain trust, and then they'll attack.
Luke is Luke's got so many like different stories and tales about ghosts and experiences. I'm pretty sure, Luke, you could talk for the next 20 minutes about this. So I'll just sit back and
Go
I'll
ahead.
let
Yeah, I'll sit
Luke.
right here. Go ahead. Yeah, take it away, Luke.
So there's two. I'm going to talk about two of the main ones that I've experienced. The first one I've made like a short film about it, and I've done a proper video about it. Now, when I was a kid, where I used to live, it used to be on top of an old mine, right? Like an old miner's mine thing, because Yorkshire's known for like coal and everything. That's what they used to dig up. So we used to live like above it, and my mum and dad did see like a miner every now and again. What looked like a miner, like walking around the house. Now, one night I was laid in bed. I think, bearing in mind, I think I was about, how old was I? I want to say about 8 or 9 year old. So I was laid in bed and my mum shut my bedroom door, like shut it. And I was laid in bed, and then next thing, my bedroom door opened, like fully opened. So I was laid there and I'm eyeballing door. I'm like, what's going on? And then I just see like a dotted outline walk around the door and sit on the edge of my bed. Bear in mind, I'm a little kid, like, so what's the first thing you do when you're a kid? I'm straight under covers.
Yeah.
Come back, still there. But what was the scariest part is that my bedroom, my covers on my bed dipped down as if there was someone sat there.
Oh,
That
bloody
was
hell, no
that
way.
was the scariest bit. So I think I must have like fallen asleep or something because I was like straight under covers. I'm not coming out. I'm not moving. But I think I must have fallen asleep. But I told my mum the next morning. I says, "Oh, I saw something," and she was like, "Oh, it was a nightmare. It was whatever it was." But for every night for 2 weeks after that, that dotted man kept coming into my room every night for 2 weeks.
Dotted. So you say dotted man. Like, what was the description of him? Like, what do you mean dotted?
Basically, like it's like a little white. Well, it's best I can describe it is like a little clear white dot. Like similar color to an orb,
Okay.
but it was the outline, like the silhouette of a person, if that makes sense, but dotted around the outline of him.
Okay. Now, was it dark? Was it light?
From what I can remember, it was like a lightish color, but it was just I didn't know what it was at the time. Like there's something here, I don't know what it is. Screw this, I'm under covers.
Luke, you've moved back into your old family home with your
Yeah.
fiance. Was it that home or was it the old pub that your mum used to have?
No, this was back when we lived. Nathan will know this when we lived in Manor Farms.
Okay, yeah.
It was that one.
That's where I saw the eyeball floating around because we used to live near each other.
Did we?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
You were too young to
You're
realise.
4 years older than me. Of course, I'm not going to remember.
Yeah.
And
Real quick, while you're still on that story, it's really
yeah,
funny that you bring that up. So you weren't sleeping, right? Like,
no,
yeah,
I
you're
was wide awake.
wide awake, and you weren't sleeping before. Did you just wake up?
No, no, I was laid in bed because I used to watch TV before I went to sleep. So I'd like turn the TV off and I would just like laid there. But you know, like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I'm not tired, I'm not going to sleep. And I would just like laid in bed, and then that's when my bedroom door opened. But my parents were downstairs. Like I could hear them, both of them downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
That's so I can't explain what went on with that one. I just know it's like I'm petrified here. But the fact that the bed dipped down as if someone was sat on it.
Yeah, I want you to know that you're not crazy because I had that happen to me
Yeah.
when I was little. Uh, it wasn't a dotted man. It was I used to sleep in the same bed as my mom because the room that I was in, I was so scared to sleep in there because I would always see things. And in my closet actually was a ladder to go up into the attic. So I was always scared that something would come down that ladder in the middle of the night. So up until I was like 5, I slept in the bed with my mom. And one night I woke up and I looked out in the hallway and I see this blue outline of a man at the end of the hallway. And then he just kind of stood there. And then I went back to sleep. The next night, he's a little bit closer. The next night, a little bit closer. And it goes on for about a week, like you said. And then finally, he's in the room and he comes up to the bed. And then I was so scared to go to sleep the following night because I'm like, this is it. Like, if I go to sleep tonight, this is the night that he's going to get me. And so I stayed awake as long as I could that night. And then I finally went to sleep and I woke up in the middle of the night again, but he wasn't there. But for multiple days, I saw this exact same figure, and there's no reason why you should see that. And so it's interesting that you said that you saw this over the course of you said 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I saw the same thing.
And each
But-
time, Luke, like what happened? Was it different or was it the same?
It was just the same.
And
And like
like,
sit on edge of bed and just look at me. So
what do you reckon would have happened if you'd like touched it or something, or were you just too
I don't know.
scared?
I was just too scared to move. I was a little kid. I didn't know what to do. I thought if I move, like it's like I was just saying, like he's going to get me. You don't know.
It sounds like sleep paralysis, except you were awake, so it's not.
But
Yeah.
in this same house, my mum experienced a few stuff. Like my mum was ironing, like in the kitchen, and in the daylight, she a back of her hair was like lifted up and then dropped back down.
Hmm.
So that was weird. But the second experience is when we owned the pub. Yeah, my mum and dad owned a pub, and we lived in the flat above it. Now, I think we've been in there about 3 or 4 months before we started noticing something. But I'm thinking, well, like I said, about I think it was the third or fourth month that was when the burglary alarm started. I can't even say that word. That was when the alarm started going off on a night, and it were always at 3 in the morning, which was even weirder. But before the alarm went off, my mum and dad heard like footsteps in the hallway. And obviously, I were in bed. My mum and dad were sat in there. Then my mum shouted, "Luke, are you up?" I'm like, "No," but I could hear the footsteps too. It was like shuffling across the carpet. But the alarm going off at 3 in the morning. So my dad contacted the alarm company and says, "Look, what's going on here?" And he went, "Well, we don't know because the only thing that could set it off is something the size of a small child. Like an insects can't set it off. Like not like that. It's got to be the size of a small like a young kid, which made it even stranger. But our house was known for it being haunted. Like one of the old owners hung himself in the pub, which totally like I didn't know this until after we'd moved out. But it turned out I think it was his wife was cheating on him, and he couldn't bear it, and he hung himself in the actual bar bit.
Wow. Yeah, because my next question was, is there any history of a child being there or anything?
Not that I know of. But because my mum and dad, they had a few like paranormal investigators in. I think they did. I could be wrong. But they got told, or we found out that it were meant to be like 13, 14 ghosts in that pub. Because the old cellar, where the beer cellar, used to be it was an archway, and it used to connect up with the old church up the road. And I don't know why, but apparently that were a thing. And that was like I hated going in the beer cellar because you always had that feeling that someone were watching you. And I absolutely hated it.
Wasn't it back then that the monks were the only ones that could brew beer?
So I think it was somewhat like that. It was. I can't even get the words out, but you could still see it were all bricked up and concreted up, like, but you could still see the archway where it all were, and there were a crack that went along one side. But I never looked through it, like, you know, like if you look through a crack, like, what am I going to see if I look through this crack?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
that's
But I
creepy,
hated being in that cellar. Hated it.
man.
Even the dog won't go in the cellar, so that proved it for me.
In your last video, you were on about can dogs and animals detect paranormal
Yeah.
things. So interesting that Luke said that.
Well, I've always thought that. I've always been under the impression that animals can sense stuff. Like, our little Jack Russell can sense that Sarah's pregnant because she don't leave her side. She don't move away from her stomach or anything. So dogs, that's my belief that dogs do, like, sense stuff. They can feel stuff, like energies.
Yeah, yeah, they can sense and smell, and just like or opposite of us, where we take in all this information, we're not receiving all of that stuff. Well, the dogs, without even thinking about it, they just always see these things or smell these things or hear these things, and they will react to it even if there's nothing there. I completely believe in that.
And then there's Nathan that doesn't. Traitor.
I
Okay,
just think
well,
there's always some kind of explanation behind it. Some things are just weird, and you know you can't explain it. But you know, a lot of times in my mind, there's got to be some kind of scientific thing behind it. But that's just how I think, I guess.
what would have
I
to
do like
happen?
hearing about it, though.
What would have to happen for you to believe with your own eyes?
Ugh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Like you're just about your daily business, and then a ghost comes up to you and says, "Hi, Nathan. I am a ghost. I lived in this date.
Yeah,
Watch as I do
just
this."
my biggest fear is sleep paralysis. Um, but like that's just in like to me that's just like psychological stuff. But to a lot of people, like they think you know they've got their own explanations behind it. But I'm still scared of that. But I love hearing about like ghost experiences, things like that, because it still scares me. Even though I don't really believe in it too much, it still freaks me out.
Yeah, yeah. You like to live
And
vicariously through people.
yeah, and the way Luke were telling those stories, like I was fully invested. Like I was like listening and I was watching, and because you just the emotion in your voice and stuff sounded so genuine.
Right.
Like you really got me hooked.
Because what matters is that they believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And that's what we do whenever we go to a client's house and they tell us all their stories. Even if it sounds like the most ridiculous thing, it's like, ain't no way you saw this or you heard this. Like, there's no way you know. But when you're there and you're listening to them, you can't but help believe their story when they tell you. When you see their tears of them being scared for their life for this thing that they're seeing in their house, that you got to take a second to be like, wow, maybe this is real. Exactly what they're saying is happening to them. And then that's when we go in and try to see if we can replicate that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do a science experiment form of ghost hunting. Go into a completely empty room, no history, no nothing, and just set up a bunch of cameras, bunch of microphones, make sure no one is on the outside, soundproof it, everything, and then just do a voice session and try to get a spirit to talk. So that way, the only other voice is my voice and multiple microphones around it. So if you hear anything at all, that would be something otherworldly.
Yeah, that's why you need to come over here, and me and Luke will take you some places.
Oh yes.
All right, so I get my plane ticket. I go see you guys. Where are you taking me first?
I would suggest going to a place called York. It's probably one of the oldest places like in the UK, and it's about 20 minutes drive from where we are. So we'll take you to York, and you know, there's lots of pubs and
I had
places
to
that are supposedly haunted.
Yeah,
What?
we could take it to a pub my mum and dad used to own.
We could do that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, Luke. What are some stories in York?
Stories in York. Oh God, I can't really think off the top of my head with stories in York.
All I know is that there's a lot of pubs where you can stay overnight, what are supposedly like really haunted, and because a lot of the buildings in York are like 200 plus years old, like they're really old.
I'm rest.
So yeah, if you come over here, we'll take you to York, and all three of us will stay in one small bedroom, and we'll all huddle together.
Law spoon.
Who gets to be in the
Luke can be
middle
at the
though?
front. Luke can be at the front, so when Dotted Man comes back for him, he gets you first.
Thanks.
The Dotted Man comes and gets him, and then we'll actually, you know what? We'll make sure that you're in the middle, Nathan, so you don't have sleep paralysis.
Yes, please, yeah.
Saying that though, Nathan should be on the end, so if Hulk comes, he can see it for himself.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. Because he'll see Luke get grabbed and be like, "No, that's my imagination," and then he'll see me get grabbed and be like, "Ah, this is real."
Yeah. Just sees me getting dragged down. Oh, and he's like, "Yeah, that's not real." Nathan.
It's magnets. That's what it is.
It's magnets and wires.
Smoke and mirrors.
Be like, y'all are really going into this. This is a nice prank.
Luke's fully dismembered down in the hallway. Nah, it's not real.
The blood is so
Just
real.
my head rolling down the stairs. Yeah, that's...
That reminds me of that scene from Tropic Thunder when the director blows up. Okay, so York. Where else could we go?
Yeah, Scotland probably.
I've always wanted to go to Scotland.
There's a place in, I think it's Gloucestershire, and I think it's called Ram's Head, and it's one of the oldest pubs.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I really want to go there. It's supposed to be one of the oldest pubs, but it's meant to be the most hauntedest building in is it the UK?
Probably.
I think.
Yeah.
I know where we can go.
Is it my
30
cellar?
East Drive.
Oh, yes.
What's that one?
It's one of the most. It's meant to be one of the most violent poltergeists in Europe.
All right, you
And
got
that
my
house
attention.
That house is literally 5 minutes away from my girlfriend's mum and dad's house.
Yeah.
Literally
it's
around the corner. I've been to the door.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would absolutely love to do it.
Are you able to go inside?
Yeah.
You can, but it'll cost you £100 for a night.
Oh, come
Per
on.
person.
I got 100 pounds just laying around.
No, but I've been to the front door of it. Like my fiance's mum and dad knows people that used to live there, and like their friends. So it's like friends of friends and stuff. And there's been a film about it. There's been all sorts. It's called The Black Monk of Pontefract. And it's something you should really look at, because this monk, he were a bit of a wrong un, to be honest. He were a bit of a paedophile with all girls at the time. And basically, the people of Pontefract pushed him in a well and killed him. I think I've got that right. Anyway, basically pushed him in a well, sealed it up, and then where the well was, that's where the house is now. So the well is underneath the house, or something like that.
Huh.
Now that black monk haunts the house. It essentially is the most violent poltergeist in Europe.
Now, what are your theories on poltergeists? How do poltergeists exist? Like, how is that different from a regular ghost?
I think a poltergeist is obviously when a person dies. I think they've got like, poltergeist is just pure evil. That's my opinion. It's like poltergeist is someone who were violent, not right nice, bit of evil in their own. That's my thing. 'Cause I don't know too much about poltergeists. I know little bits, like, but that's like my theory on it.
I've never witnessed one.
Say that again.
Oh, I've never witnessed one. A poltergeist.
Well, I've never witnessed one like, but I won't mind seeing this one.
See the black monk.
I just like sat there, throw something at me, come on. Just like
Oh,
big
so
thunder.
so the believer is gonna go there and be like, throw something at me, I dare you to.
Yeah,
I
come
figured
on,
Nathan
come
would be
on.
the one to do it.
big clock at top of the stairs just comes flying down. Oh crap!
Yeah. There's some ghost hunters in the UK. You might have heard of them called Most Haunted.
Yeah.
And they're famous over here. And they stayed there, and they did it live. And it was really, really interesting.
It's pretty neat. I can tell you some stories about Zach Baggins and Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters, Ghost Nation, Ghost Adventures, all that stuff. Maybe another
I really want to
podcast.
go
I
to
don't
that
know.
haunted museum.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach
really-
Baggins.
Yeah, I really want to go to this haunted museum.
I want to go. So this fall, I'm going. I don't know who's going to go with me, but I'm going to Salem, Massachusetts, this fall.
Oh, I want to go there.
Oh,
Kat, if the girl that was on the podcast 2 podcasts ago in South Africa, I told her, I was like, look, if you can go, we're gonna go up there because I've never done a Ouija board. We're gonna go to Salem, do a Ouija board in Salem, and see how it goes, and we'll do a live stream.
That's one thing Luke will not do on the Spooky Boys Club, and that's a Ouija board. And I'm down for it, but Luke is like, no way.
no,
I don't believe in
Ouija
it.
board's too far.
I don't believe in it. So
Well,
that's my
each
thoughts.
to their own, really.
I think it's just people moving the planchette around.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Luke's,
Yeah, that was quite accurate of me, Nathan. That.
yeah. Luke was in my cellar and like a cobweb kept touching the back of his head and he'd be like, ooh, what's that?
I don't like cobwebs, alright.
I don't blame you.
We actually saw like a really small like centipede in my cellar and Luke almost ran away.
Yeah.
Not a big
Luke's
fan.
going to be helping me clean the cellar and making it into the Spooky Boys HQ. But obviously over here we're not allowed to see anyone because we're completely locked down again. So
Yeah. How's that going over
Right
there for you
there.
guys?
totally locked down. We can't even get our haircuts.
Oh, they changed it
I
to where
can
you can't
still
get
go to work.
haircuts.
Yeah, it's a haircut one.
Yeah, I'm still allowed to go to work and go out, like, but I'm a key worker.
I've
Oh,
got to work
you're
from home.
you're essential. Look at you.
I am. I work in the food industry, specifically a cheese factory. The cheese is keeping the world going.
A cheese factory or cheesecake factory?
Just a cheese factory.
Cheese factory.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's one of the levels. It's like no haircut, no grocery store, and then like so on and so on. So you're at no haircut lockdown. Yeah. We're running rampant over here.
I need a haircut.
Anything goes over there, isn't it?
Anything
apparently?
goes here. Every state's different. People telling you different things. Yeah. We're not able to go to a bar after 10 o'clock or no alcohol after 10 o'clock. But you can have alcohol. But South Africa, look, what Kat was telling me was that you can't buy alcohol at all. And right now it's summertime there, so you can't even go to the beach. Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah. Everything is open here. Everything's open. You just have to go in with a mask. That's it. And still people are complaining.
Oh.
I'm essential too, so I've been working this entire time. I'm glad. I'm glad I have been, but a lot of my friends got those unemployment checks, and I'm really jealous. They made like $1,000, and I'm like, man, I could have been making that sitting at home.
Is that per month or is that a one-off?
It was $600 a week, so $2,400 a month unemployment at one point. Yeah. I'm like, man, I make $2,200 a month as a manager. They were making 24 just to sit at home. I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at the people that did. You know, it's not their fault, but like, man, that sounds great. Yeah. So I haven't learned a new skill or done anything after quarantine. Life as
I
usual.
just gained a bit of weight.
Oh, that quarantine weight. It got you.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a real thing.
I had quarantine weight before there were a quarantine, so beat that.
He was
trendy one.
My biggest thing was I love going to the gym at 2 a.m. and now the gyms are closed at 10 p.m. Because I'd love to go when no one's there, but now everybody is there because it's January. We're trying to,
You
Give it a
it's
few weeks,
better
it'll
at
calm
3 a.m.
down.
as well.
yeah, give it a couple weeks. Oh, what I was saying before about Salem. So when I go up to Salem, I was wanting to also go over to Connecticut and go to the Warrens Museum. Ed and Lorraine
Yes.
Warren. Yeah, I'm going.
Yes.
So I'm going. I'm going to stop in Salem and then go over to Connecticut and see that.
Maybe
You're
we
gonna
should
see
go
Annabelle
over
the
there,
doll.
Luke, instead.
Yeah, forget Kat. I'm not gonna help pay for her plane ticket. I'm paying for your guys' plane ticket.
Yeah, as
You
well.
need to get that unemployment check and pay for us to come over.
Well, we're supposed to get another stimulus check. I'll set one aside and see if we can.
Oh, Warren's Museum. You're going to see Annabelle the doll. Spooky Boys
Yeah.
versus Annabelle.
Versus Annabelle. That's the title.
Yeah.
Spooky Boys International, that's what it's called. All 3 of us
International.
there.
That's the thing about the Spooky Boys Club. It's not just catered to boys. Girls can join as well.
Yeah,
I heard
we've got
there's
a
Spooky Girls.
Club t-shirt.
Now,
There's no one in it yet, in Spooky
Oh.
Girls, so
but
it's just one big sausage party so far.
it's already copyrighted, so no one can take it.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many places I would take you guys if you came here. If you could come to America, what would be the haunted place you would go to, and then like the tourist place that you would go to?
I'd go to Disney World again, and I'd go to the Haunted Mansion ride.
Again? I've never been, and I live here.
I've been twice.
Ah,
It'd have to be the Warren's Museum and then the tourist one. It's just New York. I've always wanted to go to New York.
In fact, I'm going to change mine. I want to go to California because I want to go to that Death Museum.
I don't know about the one in California. All I know is the one in New Orleans.
Is it there? I don't know.
Yeah,
There's a Death
they might-
Museum. And
It's all the same to Nathan.
Yeah, there's one in New Orleans. I haven't gone yet. But that's one they have a lot of serial killers and then different torture devices, all that stuff. Yeah, you should definitely go to New York once in your life.
Really want to go, mainly because one of like the vloggers I watch, Casey Neistat, is just I've seen all skyline and all views and everything. I'm like, I need to see New York for my own eyes. I need to do it.
I was this close to going to Disney World, and then my fiance and I broke up, and she took her new boyfriend to Disney World a month later, and went to Galaxy's Edge. They went to Galaxy's Edge. I'm the biggest Star Wars fan, and I didn't go.
that is devastating.
It hurt.
How big of a Star Wars fan are you?
Oh.
How up there?
Oh. Use my secrets, I beg of you. I got all the books, all the movies, everything.
Have you got do you play the games, the Star Wars games?
Yeah.
What did you think to the is it Fallen Jedi or Fallen Order?
Jedi Fallen Order, I never beat it because I got stuck. I hate the Uncharted mechanics in it. I wish it was just more of a Jedi thing instead of an archaeologist game.
Yeah.
But I watched the ending like online where they went against Vader and stuff, and they made him OP.
Well, thing is, I remember buying Fallen Order on Christmas Day, and I beat the game on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Because my fiance got me a new PlayStation 4 Pro for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I bought it in the morning, and I'd finished it by the time I went to bed.
That is impressive. That is a long game.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It didn't help that I put it on easy mode anyway, but I finished it.
I've wanted to do a Star Wars podcast, but it's not for this channel. Like I could definitely compete with Star Wars Theory. I love Star Wars Theory.
Star Wars.
Love it.
Nathan don't. I don't think Nathan's ever seen Star Wars.
I've never seen any Star Wars. So all this is going straight up in my head. I don't know what you're on about.
You've never seen Star Wars? What?
Never seen it.
Oh my gosh. All right, forget it. I'm coming to the UK. We're watching Star Wars, damn it.
Watching Star Wars in the haunted pub.
Yeah.
We can watch that. watch Star Wars at my house. We've got like the full surround sound and everything, and we can go do a Spooky Boy session in Loft.
There we
'Cause
go.
this house is haunted as well.
We can do a Spooky Boys commentary. Like, we can watch Star Wars and then just commentate over it.
Yeah, there's Nathan just sitting kind of going, this film is horseshit.
Just show him episode 1 and just him fuming, just so upset.
Oh, you've got to start him off on the originals. You've got to start him off on A New Hope.
Start him off with episode 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so if you're going to do Star Wars order, how do you watch it?
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. I don't count Rogue One or Solo movie because I didn't really like them. So.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Rogue One were a lot better than Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did like how Rogue One just transitioned straight into A New Hope, like the ending of Rogue One and then just starting of A New Hope. But Solo film, I'm gonna leave them comments to myself.
All right, so yeah, Luke, you and I are gonna do a Star Wars podcast. That's what's gonna happen.
Yes,
Luke would absolutely love that.
Cool.
One half. That'd be great.
Comment down below if you guys want to see a Star Wars podcast with Luke and I.
It needs to happen. I'll comment down below that it'll happen.
just spam it. Make burner accounts and just be like, yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah, me too.
Well, I've got to be a Star Wars fan. I have the name, obviously. I've had the running
Luke.
joke throughout my whole life. Use the Force, Luke, and I'm like, piss off. Use the Force.
You know, I was named after Prince William.
Oh.
I was, yeah, because he was my mom was a huge fan of Princess Di, and yeah, so William.
Oh, named after royalty.
Mm-hmm.
Your Highness.
Thank you.
When you wave, do you do the Queen wave?
Do the Queen wave?
Yeah.
Like this.
Hello.
Hello. No, I can't. Oh, yeah. If I could ever go to England, I would definitely go to London. I gotta go. I would want to do all of the tourist stuff. I would want to get like a replica double-decker bus, the Big Ben, like all that. Full tourist experience.
What you need to experience is you need to go to Greg's and get a sausage roll.
Yes, a Greg's sausage roll.
What's that?
It's like a sausage but in pastry, but it's chef's kit.
It's a pig in the blanket.
No, it's nothing like a pig
in a blanket.
Oh
is a sausage
man, I triggered
like,
you guys.
A pig in the blanket is the bacon and the sausage. A sausage roll is like pastry, like puff pastry with like sausage meat in the middle.
Okay.
And it is so nice.
Next, you'll be saying that you don't know what a Yorkshire pudding is, and you don't like gravy.
What's a Yorkshire pudding?
Oh.
What's that?
Nathan, you can have it. You can have this one.
Please tell us, what is a Yorkshire pudding?
It's hard to explain exactly what it is, apart from it's like god tier food.
Okay.
I think it's the same ingredients as a pancake, but it's like
one extra
cooked in
egg.
hot oil inside an oven, and it's just it's nice. And you have it on your Sunday roast with your beef.
It's like a pancake that's had a bike pump attached to it.
It's like a McGriddle.
A what?
You need to come over here so we can show you how to eat properly.
Whoa. Look, there's a lot of things here that you guys need to try too. So
when I went to Disney World, I had something called a biscuit. And now biscuit to us is like what you guys call a cookie. So I was like, what the hell is this? This is not a biscuit.
You haven't had biscuits and gravy?
I can't even explain what a biscuit is. It's like a weird... it's like a dumpling, but then like a scone at the same time, which I don't think you know what that is either.
No, those fancy words. It is bread that has you got to get the layered biscuits, where you like peel it apart and the bread just comes off. Get like a Hardee's biscuit in the morning. You don't even know what Hardee's is. Get a Hardee's biscuit in the morning. They make it at 5 a.m. It's a fast food restaurant. They make really good biscuits. But yeah, you got to have biscuits. It's a Southern thing too. It's biscuits and gravy. Biscuits, gravy, and sausage. Yeah, you guys got to have biscuits and gravy. Man.
That does sound really nice.
I think you'll have to show us when we come over.
You know what? Next time I'll make a biscuit and then I'll eat it in front of you to make you jealous.
Well, we need to have a mukbang where you have your biscuits and gravy and we'll
What
have
are
a
we
Sunday
doing?
dinner on.
I feel like that's a category on a certain website. What is it?
A mukbang.
Okay.
It's where you
I
eat
believe
and
you.
talk, like not eat and talk, like you'll eat and like you do it all on camera. And it's weird, but it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a potluck, but on Zoom.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, let's go with that.
We don't know what a potluck is?
No.
Is it sexual?
This podcast is just quickly going to go down a drain of American terms and UK terms. Potluck, it's where everyone, you don't tell what people to bring. Like, people just bring food, and that's a potluck. So, like, someone could bring a lasagna, someone could bring burgers, someone could bring, like, dessert. It's just, like, a bunch of food that people bring.
What if everyone brings a lasagna?
What if someone else brings another lasagna?
Yeah. Oh, what if we all bring lasagna?
Just like layer them up.
Then the potluck failed. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Well, what if you all bought the ingredients for the lasagna? Yeah.
I think you figured it out. Man, I'm trying to think of. Oh, I would definitely love to go to Scotland and go see Loch Ness.
I've been there.
I'm jealous.
Oh yeah, I think I was like 14, and my mum and dad paid for like a boat ride, so we actually went out onto the loch.
Oh, so you actually went out into the loch. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like a little ferry that just like took you so far and then brought you back.
Were you scared? Or were you absolutely fine?
No, we're all right with that.
I'd be terrified.
I think it was Nessie's like nap time. Like she'd already fed on some locals further down the loch, so she left us alone. That's another thing we have to do. Spooky boys go to Scotland. That's gonna have to be a one. Spooky boys Nessie? Spooky boys. The Spooky Boys Club Nessie Unlocked.
Nessie Unlocked, but spell it UNLOCHED.
Yeah.
Perfect. We got a video.
Love it.
I'm trying to think. Over here, the only main places that I've been to is this one. I went to Eastern State Penitentiary.
I've heard about that one.
You said you have?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of the most haunted. So you had Eastern State Penitentiary, and then you had Alcatraz on the West Coast. Like those are the two like most haunted prisons. What's up?
Well, I was going to say, like, I that Western State Penitentiary one, I was doing like most haunted asylums video, and like that were in the list. I found a list on the internet, and I was reading through it, and that Eastern State Penitentiary are actually on there.
Yeah.
So once I finished like doing all my stuff for my video, I just sat down and I was scrolling through all the stuff that had happened there. I'm like, wow, I need to go here. I need to go here.
They built it like a castle because they wanted to scare anybody to not commit crimes in Philadelphia. Because you didn't want to end up behind those walls. That's why they built it that way. Eastern State was built that way, and a few other ones around that time. But Eastern State is the only one that still exists. But
there's
that
a prison
really
there's a prison where we live in Leeds. What's looks like a castle, and it's just called HMP Leeds. It's not fancy. It's a bit of a rough prison.
Yeah. It's at the back end of Leeds kind of prison, like, bro.
I think the most.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was about to completely change the subject. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, the only castle like I've ever been to is me, so I can say that since my name.
Aw.
I had to put that in there.
I was about to say the most haunted city I've ever been in is Savannah, Georgia. Savannah is really haunted. Uh, there's so many graves. Most of the buildings that are there are still original. Um, there's stuff from pirates to Civil War, Revolutionary War, all the way up through today. A lot of lynchings happen there. That place is definitely really creepy, and that's the only place I've gone to where they had a hearse, like you can get in a hearse, and then they did a ghost tour around the whole like city. It was really
Oh,
neat.
that's cool.
Yeah, like any place you
That's
go to
cool.
there is haunted.
Have you heard about the haunted clown hotel, like the motel?
Mm-mm. What's that?
Well, it's as it sounds. There's a motel. I can't remember where it is. You'll have to give it a Google when you're done, when we've done. But essentially it's a motel and it's all clown themed, but it's haunted.
Where is it?
There's like all. I can't remember what it is. I'll talk to Nathan while I try and find out where it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Because I'm really curious now. I know you guys are. Shoot, is it 10 o'clock there?
10 to
uh,
10.
something like that, yeah.
Jeez. That's the thing that I love about these podcasts is like you just talk and it's like wow, like we've been up
Yeah,
here a
it's gone
while.
really quick.
I love it.
I think we've got a really good sort of dynamic going on with us three. I think us three could definitely be the official Spooky Boys club, and we could have a Spooky Boys podcast, maybe. Who knows?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
We could do with a Spooky Boys channel.
Could have one, yeah.
yeah. Definitely let me know. I'll definitely contribute and come on the podcast whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this time of day is
Right,
perfect for me.
right. I found out where it is. This McClown Motel. Apparently, it's in. Is it Tonopah, Nevada? It's where it says on the Tinterweb.
Huh. I wonder if Ghost Adventures ever went there because I can vaguely remember something like that.
I think they did. I think that's how I found out about it. 'Cause, like I watched the Ghost Adventures episode and I went, oh, I could do a video on that, but like there wasn't enough information for a video, so I just thought I'd leave it.
Yeah.
But like the more I was like looking at like people's experiences and stuff like that, I was like one of my biggest fears, clowns. I absolutely hate clowns with a strong passion. Like if I saw a clown, I'd
You'll
punch the
punch
clown
it.
in the face and run. Yeah. But apparently some of the dolls, because there's like obviously like clown dolls and stuff like that, they've been known to move and do all sorts. And apparently people have seen like a ghost clown in like the windows of the motel room, just like looking in, and it's really weird.
Yeah,
But that's you should look at going to that one.
I'll check it out. I'll probably go see my nephew in New Mexico. He's in the Air Force, and while I'm in New Mexico, I'll head out to Nevada and go check it out.
You can actually stay there as well. You should stay there. There's your motel. Just stay there. That'd be great.
I,
Like
th-
live stream it.
I think I'd rather just stay on his Air Force base.
We'll take the fun out of it then.
You brought up a point, Luke. I was kind of curious about this. So you said that you were going to do a video on it, but then you decided not to because there wasn't enough about it. What
Yeah.
are starting with Luke? What's some videos that you were planning on doing and then just scrapped it?
So one of the main videos I were going to do were going to be about a Ouija board. Like I were going to do a full-on video, like the dangers of a Ouija board. Like some of the stuff I believe and stuff like this, and stuff that's happened with my mum and like some of her friends and stuff like that. And I was just going to do like break down, like, yeah, you can use a Ouija board. Be careful because this can happen.
Yeah. Or you could
Like we're
just
gonna have
wait. You could just wait till Nathan and I do it, and then when we die
Yeah.
or something like that happens, then use that footage.
Well, I'll be stood in the corner filming it, just going, "What a set of knobheads! What are you doing?" There were going to be the Clown Hotel. I did start a series called Dark Disney, where it were like stuff to do with like Walt Disney, Disneyland, all the stuff they don't want you to know. And I think I got 2 episodes into it, and I just scrapped it because there were loads of information and loads of stuff that I could have done on it, but it was too much. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then that were about it. And then that's when I started changing into vlogs and gaming and whatever I wanted to do. But what about you, Nathan?
I have a never-ending list on my phone where I just add things to it, but never actually do them. Um, so I've got my phone here.
Oh my gosh,
Just
look at that. All right, now all your fans screenshot that. That way you can see all the videos.
Hang
hang
on,
on.
Nathan. Just put it back a second. Let me just like take that picture.
Can you see it?
Hang on.
I need to start
Yeah.
talking, so I go on to see. I've got a little series about cults that I've never done, a series about killer couples that I've never done. I've got a big list of different true crime cases. I've got a list of Spooky Boys Club videos to do. One of them is going to be the worst ways to die. That'd be good. One of them for Spooky Boys Club is the spookiest video clips on the internet.
Nice.
And these are basically videos that we can do together, but whilst in lockdown because we can't be together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And one of them was going to be like reactions of like ghosts caught on camera, things like that. But with the spookiest video clips on the internet, me and Luke were gonna like find some really scary video clips and sort of send them to each other so we can react and see who's the most effed up person in the Spooky Boys Club.
Can I already tell you who it is?
It's me. I've got some documentary ideas. Should the UK bring back the death penalty? That'd be good. I've got a documentary I want to do about the Wakefield prison, and a bunch of other like random weird stuff I like to write down. Now, there's one video that I filmed, I would say about 2 years ago. Never edited it. It's still on my laptop. Never done it. So I made a video about the Illuminati.
Ooh.
And it didn't do too good on YouTube, but on Facebook it got 15 or 20,000 views, and to me that's quite a good number. But I got loads of comments from people in like Nigeria pretending to be in the Illuminati, and they're giving out the numbers. So I added one of the numbers and I messaged them, and I basically tried to join the fake Illuminati, and I recorded the entire thing. And I'd like that to be a video at some point, but I want to make it really good, so yeah. I've got so much stuff planned and written down, I've just never done it. Before this podcast, I recorded 2 videos. Let me just bring up one of the titles so I can have a look, because I'm on it now. One of them was, in my folder to edit, is about a cannibal called Vince Lee, I think he's called. And he was on a bus and he stabbed a guy next to him and cut his head off and then ate his eyeballs or something. Another one was from the UK that I filmed before this, and it's about a man who's murdered his landlord and fed him to badgers. Yeah, sounds good.
Wow. Where do you find badgers?
Dead at side of the motorway, usually over here.
Yeah, there's no badgers here. Man, any other videos that you can think of?
Oh. I just can't find the time at the moment because I've got the baby.
Yeah.
So I think when he's a little bit older, I'll have more time, so it'll be fine. There's no rush for him, you know what I mean? I'm 30 years old, so I'm old, but I'm not that old, so I've still got a long way left.
I'm gonna say, because I started editing you. I edit. If I can get my words out. Started. Why can't I say it? I started editing. There we go. Videos for you though, didn't I? Just to give you a bit more spare time.
Yeah, I've still got some. If you want some more, you know.
Send them over. I'm more than happy to do them.
I've got 13 videos scheduled, and it's called 60-second serial killers, which I think you've seen anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sharing them around because I want to see how they do by themselves, because a lot of people like worry about getting a lot of views like straight away, but a lot of my videos are like slow burn videos where like we'll gain some views over time and stuff.
I got a weird one that's rising right now. It's something I did a year and a half ago. It was three stories for Halloween for kids or something like that. And I put it out and it got 10 views, and then it sat there for a year until the following Halloween. It picked up again, and then now in January it's like my third video that's trending right now. It makes no sense. I'm like, why? And I'm not even proud of it. It's so weird how that works.
I think Luke's got a popular video about that head in a cage or something. Can't remember what it is.
Oh, the Mr. Fritz puppet head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my most viewed video ever.
Well, you did an awesome job of doing that video when it was still topical. Like it had just happened.
Well, it was Nathan who told me about it. Like that night, he went, "There's something happening." He went, "Do it." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
I
that was
just went,
smart.
10 minutes later, it was done.
Yeah, because
I think it's on like
I saw you did that video on it, and it wasn't until a couple hours later that I started to see it on Reddit and then on Facebook, and I was like, wow, like you broke the story.
I'm gonna say, I don't even know I ended up on Reddit, like, because like it first started off, I'm like, oh, it's just gonna run them videos, and I put it up, and then it went 10, 20, 50, 100. Like, Nathan, what's going on now? It's stopped. I think it's on like 4,500 views, and
That's awesome.
I'm pretty proud of it.
That's so cool, and it was a good video too.
I think the audio could have been a bit tweaked. Could have been a bit better, but I was still learning editing and all that. But I'm still pretty happy with it.
That's pretty cool. It's always the weird ones, or the ones that you don't expect. I'm trying to think if I know for me, there's two videos I wish I did. I don't know if I talked about this before. The first one, it was January of last year. I was like, I really want to do this video on this thing called coronavirus out in China. Like, it sounds interesting. I'm like, that would be really scary. Like, what if we got coronavirus? That'd be crazy. And so I wanted to do a video on like what you need to know about coronavirus, like this scary thing that's going on in China. And I decided not to do it. This was New Year's. It was like the first week of January. I was going to do that video, and then I decided not to. And I kick myself every day for it.
Yeah.
That could have been your 1 million. That could have been your 1 million view video.
Yeah, yeah. That one, and then another one. I thought it would be too controversial because I thought about doing conspiracy theories, and so during the Black Lives Matter movement, I saw on Reddit. It was when people were breaking windows and stuff, and one of them was clearly a police officer that was pretending to be one of the rioters. And so I wanted to do a conspiracy video on, are the police infiltrating it? And then why is it that, Biden and Democrats were releasing people from prison and stuff? Like is it all an inside job? Are they all infiltrating it and making it look bad or look good and stuff like that? I wanted to do conspiracy theories on that stuff, but I was like, nah, that would be too controversial. But controversy, what gets you clicks?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm a sucker for a good old conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I like the conspiracy where the royal family's all lizards.
Whether what?
I like that one. Apparently, there's a conspiracy going that the royal family over here is all lizard people.
Yeah, and the queen bathes in blood of virgins and stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff is. I love all like that. Because to be honest, it sounds believable with the state our country goes through. I wouldn't put it past them.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, and then is there really a new world order, and coronavirus is what kicked it off, and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't want to ever do that kind of stuff on my channel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to do stuff that I believe in and things that I would be interested in. Like, I definitely talk about it, but I would never do a video on it.
Yeah. I think there's someone I watch, and he were a daily vlogger, and he were vlogging around when COVID started kicking off, and because he was so popular, we were talking about it. His video got took down, so YouTube took his video down, and then he uploaded it again. They took it down. He uploaded it again, and they took it. They didn't strike him for it, but they kept taking it down. He found out why he was doing it because he was specifically talking about COVID. And they kept removing his video because he says, right, we're trying to... This is YouTube going, we want to spread a positive message. We can't talk about anything negative like that on our website.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it still kept on putting them up. So
Yeah. Like, I wonder if this video will get taken. Well, I've heard it won't necessarily get taken down, but it's demonetized if you say COVID or Corona or something like that.
we need an acronym for like another acronym or another word for it, like I don't know, a zombie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the Miller virus. It's the Bush Light
There we go.
virus. Yingling. Like, yeah. That's what one of the YouTubers started doing. He would name like different beers and just be like, "Yeah, this beer virus," and that was it. And then I have so many videos that I constantly think of and I just have not done. I'm so busy, man. Like there's so when I went to Eastern State, I filmed everything inside, and so I've been wanting to do a video on Eastern State and just kind of do a narration over the video because I got a lot of creepy footage because this was during quarantine, so everyone is wearing masks and we had to social distance. So I had a lot of moments where normally you would go into this place, a museum, it would be packed, but now there's like hardly anyone in there. So you're walking down these like dark cell hallways and stuff, and there's no one else around you. So I was able to get like some really good footage of the place. That's a video that I have on my computer that I just haven't done anything with. Another one. What's that?
I'd like to see that one.
It's really.
I'd like to see that.
It's really creepy. Like, there was some good stuff. The other one is the Choose Your Own Adventure horror video. I said I was gonna have it done 2 Fridays ago, but man, this video is kicking my ass. It's a lot more than I thought it was gonna be. Because you basically have to make 22 separate videos in order for it to work. And yeah, it's just so daunting. I've kind of been working on that. And then the short horror films, it's hard trying to find a place to film, get everybody together to do it. I've been rejected by 2 different places to be able to film in their woods. So I'm trying to find woods that I can film in at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I think it's like an hour and a half. It's not bad.
That flew that.
That's crazy. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Again, we have Luke Castle. Go check him out. Castle Central. I'll go ahead and link his YouTube channel in the description down below. You can go check him out. Is there anything else that you would like to plug, Luke?
No.
Perfect.
Just go to the channel. Like, if you like what I do, click subscribe. If you don't, anyway, yeah, thanks. That made no sense, but yeah.
Well, Luke, I definitely want to have you back on again, man. And we'll do that Star Wars podcast together, you and I.
It's a Star Wars podcast. It's going to be absolutely great.
Hell yeah! And then Nathan, where can they find you?
They can find me at my channel, I guess. I want to plug the Nightmare Narrative podcast. It's really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's all right.
No, yeah, I enjoy it a lot. It's good.
Thank you.
I've always wanted to do something like this, like on my own, but I think you're much better at it, so I'll leave it to the professionals.
I've started to like want to do like murder stuff and like serial killers and everything. I'm like, nah, that's all his. I'm not gonna touch it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate
join
it.
forces and do a collaboration on one.
Oh, that was the other video that I've been wanting to do is videos on if that person is really dead. Because I talked about John Wilkes Booth, Jesse James, Elvis, like stuff where people have died, but really they're still alive. And kind of, it's a mixture of conspiracy theories and unsolved murders.
Sounds good, that.
Yeah, pretty neat. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Go ahead and leave a comment down below what you thought, and subscribe for more videos like this. And I'll catch you guys next time. And remember, sleep well.